Hi. Um, I was watching the Megyn McCain returns from her, I guess, her maternity leave. Well, this little lady is in for a rude awakening because, as I've been explaining to everybody, uh, all you little ladies have been picking a fight with me. The McCains have been there from the beginning since 2007. Megyn McCain, Cindy McCain, if she's still alive, are going to have to explain to everybody why the State Department and the consulates have no obligation to protect and defend the rights of Americans living abroad. That's what I've been on since the beginning. I mean, you know, the McCains in the Republican Party, it's the McCains from Arizona. You got Clay Shaw, Congressman Clay Shaw from Florida. With the Democrats, that's the really the Louisiana, the senator that I used to work for, Bennett Johnston. I contacted him in 2007 as well from Spain, seeking, all I want to tell the consulate to do its job. And the courts are completely out of control. That's well documented within the literature of the academic community as well as the development community, government agencies. Everybody knows what the problems are. And, the American embassies do have an obligation if Americans are being attacked in courts abroad. Yeah, the Americans have an obligation to protect and defend them. I mean, this is what my whole case against the State Department's been about. So, Cindy and Megyn McCain with her human rights think tank, explain to me where I'm wrong and where you're right. That's all I want. But of course, I have to get them into court because these are uncivilized cannibals sacrificing children and eating them and covering all that crap up. And that's why they want to shut me up and intimidate me because I and my children will become part of this unprotected group and be used in their human sacrifices. I mean, I'm sick and tired of being told, oh, you've been offered up as a sacrificial lamb because you represent white privilege, and we've opened the floodgates for a bunch of foreigners who just want to stick it to the rich white woman. I mean, I have had it. I am sick and tired of it. I have knocked on the doors of all of the lawyers in this town. None of them want to get involved. This whole thing of freedom of speech, freedom of speech. I'm like, oh, freedom of speech for a bunch of propagandists? I mean, everybody's really, really, they're all crazy. They're all crazy. So anyway, this Sabs, I was listening to this last night, and the thing is, she's talking about Carol Bassett, comparing her to Erika Kirk and these honeypots. But I mean, what cracks me up is she's using the example of Maureen Callahan, who's bashing Carolyn Bassett, but Maureen Callahan's good friend Megyn Kelly just recently was telling how her mom, when her mom found out, that JFK Jr. was at Brown University. I think they were both at Brown. I think it was Brown. But anyway, her daughter was going to the same university as John JFK Jr. Her mom was like, oh, go after him. He was the most eligible bachelor in the United States at the time. Every woman, just like every woman dreamed of marrying Prince Andrew or Prince Charles or Prince Edward in Europe, everybody dreamed of marrying JFK Jr. or Bobby RFK Jr. All, these were the big prizes. and they had women throwing themselves at them. And then, I mean, Bobby's behaved a hell of a lot better than JFK did. JFK was just an entitled frat boy. Poor Bobby. He got thrown out of the house by his mom. He had to even sleep on the beach. He was homeless when he was like 16 because my mom was constantly doing that. Dude, get out of the house, get out of the house. I mean, his mom flipped out. And, became another one of these Nancy Pants Reagan or Mommy Dearest Joan Crawford. This has been going on for so long. And the Democrats are pointing their fingers at the Republicans, and the Republicans are pointing their fingers at the Democrats, and everybody has nothing but whores in their midst. Let's listen. Oops, let's make sure. Oh, shoot. I stopped my sharing. Let's make sure I had my stereo on. Yeah. Okay.
Married, so it goes all the way up until, they die and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, what I found out while watching the show behind the scenes is that the way that Carolyn Bassett actually met John F. K. Jr. apparently may not have been that way. And I noticed some similarities here between her and Erika Kirk, meaning that the way the show portrays it, it makes it seem like they just happened to go to the same charity event and they were there. And that's how they decide, oh, let's talk to each other. Let's start dating. But what you find out behind the scenes, there's a woman here named Maureen Callahan. She wrote a book about the Kennedys and the way that they treated women. She's written a lot of books, but she was in that New York fashion scene, celebrity scene. And she was talking about this a long time ago, that Carolyn Bassett.
Yeah, everybody wants to go on about how the Kennedys treat their women, but nobody wants to take a look at how the Kennedy women treat their men. Start with Rose Kennedy, who was married to Joe Sr. I mean, the Kennedys have been a piece of work, social climbing Catholics since they came to town, and have just shown the Protestants were right when they were afraid of letting the Catholics in. Catholics came to town in D.C. in the 1950s and been creating problems ever since. And then the Jews and all of the other minorities just came on in. And I'm sorry, but that is not racism. That's cold, hard facts. In fact, yesterday I was looking at, you can all go on the family trees that I was doing yesterday. It was really interesting. Unfortunately, when you get to people who are very well known, there's a lot of superfluous information you gotta clean up. I mean, like marriages and these things, they were married like 5 times to the same person. Anyway, it's a lot of administrative work in cleaning this stuff up. But this is the Puritan movement starting in the 1500s. This was Thomas Wilcox's admonitions to Parliament. Now, unfortunately, so, all of this stuff, and you get into, I'm just starting to look at, there's Thomas Cartwright, that was his family. What else did I look at? So John Fields, John Whitgift, Thomas Cartwright, Richard Hooker. These were all kind of, I'm looking at the founders of that Puritan movement and they coming into the United States, and how they left England and came over to the colonies. Unfortunately, this Thomas Wilcox, A Choice Drop of Honey from the Rock Christ. Now these are, they're giving me hints, but this is not very well documented. Now this was the Richard Thomas Wilcox. He was Choice Drop of Honey Rock Christ. Now this was kind of Baptist Quakers, but apparently the persecution had gotten in 100 years so bad that this is why he was like kind of there's no information about his family members because it was kind of dangerous for them, apparently. You know, have to get to my historians in England on that one. But anyway, so, you know, it's, I've been looking at all of this stuff while these guys, here's John Dickinson there, and he's in my family tree. You know, this is not the great American dream. All of the stuff that these girls are promoting and stuff, not the great American dream. It's
Actually,
it's what the English Puritans and Quakers were fleeing, and all of the Protestants were, you know, protesting against the Catholics.
JFK Jr. out. She was trying to get him. And that's not the way the story is told. Let me go ahead and bring in this part here. Again, I thought this was pretty interesting considering the Erika Kirk stuff. So we're going to make the comparison. So this is Maureen here. Listen to what she says about.
Of course, that's never the way this story was told. I remember when my mom told me, I'm still young, and we go to a wedding. And, you know, she said, oh, yes, you never congratulate the woman, you congratulate the man. And I was like, why is that? And I learned, oh, no. You congratulate the man for catching the prize woman. To congratulate the woman for catching her prize husband, who kind of spilled the beans that she was a gold digger. Very tactless.
Out this meeting that happened.
Okay. So this sets up the moment when John, then the world's most eligible bachelor, this is absolutely true, takes a first look at Carolyn Bassett, and that was not the way they first met. Okay. And is immediately captivated. Now, listen, at the time they met, Jackie O was alive, okay? And Carolyn Bassett, would not have made it through the doorman at 1040 Fifth Avenue where Jackie lived, okay? She never would have made it through. John, at the time, was dating a movie star who has since...
Now, Jackie has been, you know, made into some sort of queen in this country, but Jackie was a real gold digger. And as much with JFK as with Onassis. So, and you see it with Caroline, her daughter, and John, her son. Because he killed himself. He ended up killing himself with his entitlement.
It's retired, named Daryl Hannah. And Daryl came from real money. Her family were prominent Democratic operatives in Chicago. Jackie didn't like Daryl because she was an actress, shades of the royal family, not wanting an actress in Megyn Markle really in that mix. There's a reason for this, okay? Now, but we're getting...
See, Maureen Callahan, she doesn't know her history. No, the problem with the actress with the royal family was when Prince Andrew wanted to marry Kukai or whatever her name is. And that was, oh, no, that was a faux pas. You can't marry an actress. When it came to Megyn Markle, you know, the royal family, no, this was an ace up their sleeve to have a woman of mixed blood. This made them look good. This is the same type of thing that Queen Victoria pulled with her... what was it? The Munshi, the Indian that she had as her Munshi. He was no, you know, the Munshi is supposed to be some educated and learned person. No, he was I think he had syphilis. He had left his wife. I mean, he was not a respectable Indian by any means, but it served her purpose. And, you know, so all of these problems go back a long ways. And all of these girls are just selling and passing out Kool-Aid.
Pause this part real quick. because in the show, if you watch the show Love Story, it makes it seem as though John F. Kennedy Jr. was just like this really nice, easygoing dude. And
of course,
they don't show you the other side. They don't show you that John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bassett, like they were very much a part of the party scene, the New York party scene, the drug culture as well. They don't show him in that light at all.
Yeah,
and
apparently Karen Bassett, she was constantly doing cocaine. Cocaine queen.
You just watch that show and you don't look up any other research on your own, it's easy to believe, oh, well, JFK Jr. was just such this nice, easygoing guy. He just happened to have this Kennedy last name, and he was just looking for someone to fall in love with and get married with. You got to understand that John F. Kennedy Jr. at that point in time was one of the most eligible bachelors in the United States. And the fact that he was a Kennedy, and she mentions this, he really could have had anyone that he wanted at that point in time. That brings in the question about Caroline Bassett.
See, he could have anyone he wanted because he's a Kennedy. I mean, this whole thing of hero worshiping, this is not the values and principles for which the Puritans and the Quakers suffered great hardship, risked their lives to cross the Atlantic to come and live. This is exactly what they were fleeing. And the founding fathers were aware that our British past could come back to haunt us.
Caroline Bassett, she graduated from Boston University here. She went on to work at a Calvin Klein retail store at the Chestnut Hill Mall in Newton, Massachusetts, which is right next to Boston. And apparently somehow she went from working at that retail store to working for the Calvin Klein, the designer in New York City. Apparently, she tried to dabble in some modeling as well at some point in time. What I'm saying is, when you compare this to Erika Kirk, what I've started to notice is I don't think any of these motherfuckers met by chance. Like, I'm really thinking back on some things, and I'm like, a lot of these prominent couples, I don't think any of it was by chance. But that Caroline Bassett sought JFK Jr. out. But the show doesn't show you that. The show makes it seem like, well, he went into Calvin Klein's store to get fitted for a suit, and both of them were at that charity event. He comes up and talks to her, and that's how they start dating. But that's not the story. So why are we constantly being told that people just happen to meet by chance when in reality it was coordinated? You got to coordinate.
I think the setup is that this is a love story for the ages and that these two were fated. And I mean, Fated, fated to be, and not so, because Caroline Bassett, and it's all in Ask Not, worked very, very, very hard to land John F. Kennedy Jr., who could have had any woman he wanted. I'm talking a royal, I'm talking movie stars, I'm talking supermodels, anyone he wanted. Now, here we're going to get the tease of the beginning of this courtship, which is played in a very, I find it odd. Here we go.
Okay, and then she gets into a little bit of the show. By the way, you guys need, if you haven't been watching her, watch her. Like, she's written multiple books, but she wrote a book years ago about the Kennedy men, including John F. Kennedy Jr., Robert Kennedy Jr. is also in her book. She tried to tell people years ago about the Kennedy men and how they were treating the women that were in their lives. And so this show, Love Story, isn't from her book, but if they would have followed her book, you would have seen some of the things that I was just telling you about, right? So here's another part here when she talks about, how they actually met.
And this friend was the one who had the tickets to the rainforest benefit that Calvin was in charge of, and JFK Jr. was like a guest of honor. He was going to be seated at Calvin's table, and Carolyn was desperate to get into that party, like desperate, begging you got to give me you got to give me a ticket. You got to give me a ticket. I know you have an extra one. I know you have an extra one. You got 3 in your back pocket. I see them. You got to give them to me. And this friend was like, you know what, sister? Karma has its costs. You're paying right now. So she did. They still to this day don't know how she wormed her way in there, but she wormed her way in there. Okay. Now,
she wormed her way in there. She sought him out. But that doesn't sound like a beautiful love story, does it? So it's got to be, oh, we just happen to be there at the same time. Just like, you know, she also talks about the fact that Megyn Markle, when Megyn Markle met Prince Harry, that Megyn Markle also sought him out. Now, why does this lead me to Erika Kirk? Remember what we were talking about, like this story of how she met Charlie Kirk and all those, you know, the stories that she told. We just happened to meet. I went to an interview at Turning Point USA and he said, how about you be my girlfriend? Remember all that? It just happened by chance. So let's compare, shall we? Sword Truth said old interview video of Erika Kirk has her calling the one who introduced her to Charlie, Tyler Boyer, a family friend, meaning she lied about when she and Boyer met. Listen to this. Oh, we're going back.
It was a while ago. I can't even keep track of dates anymore with babies and anniversary dates and everything else in between. So anyways, so we had met through a family friend. He had invited me to the office opening for Turning Point USA, which I know several of you guys are supporters of. So thank you for all of your support for Turning Point USA. And so I went to the office opening and he was like, you need to meet the CEO. And I was like, okay, great. I don't know. I was not familiar with that world at all. But the interesting point is that year, that was in August. In May, I had taken a pilgrimage with my mom to Israel. And my whole intention of that trip was to find my future husband. If there was a hole in a rock anywhere to put a prayer, and those of you who've been, it was a while ago. I can't even keep track of dates anymore with babies and
listen closely now.
Anniversary dates and everything else in between. So anyways, so we had met through a family friend. He had invited me to the office opening for Turning Point USA, which I know several of you guys are supporters of.
So that family friend was Tyler Boyer. And she said a family friend. So she already knew him. And then when we go to the other interview, because see, this is why people are bringing back old stuff, right? So then when you look at this conversation here, remember when Tyler Boyer was talking about how Charlie Kirk wanted Erika to be president? So these people go way back, man. This is what I was saying. Listen to this.
Politics in her future down the road?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I had conversations with Charlie about that. So he was like, man, Erika could be so much bigger and better than me at almost everything. And we laughed all the time about it because people were like, Charlie was going to be president someday. He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday. And so it's a beautiful thing. He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday.
So you see how he put that message kind of out there, right? Okay. Now I want to take you to this conversation between Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk. Again, talking about how she met him and her relationship with Tyler Boyer before meeting Charlie Kirk. This is these two, both of them. Watch this.
So Trump's first rally in Arizona was when?
The summer of 15.
Summer of 15. So I went with my mom. I was a Trump fan.
To a Trump rally.
To a Trump rally. His first one. Tyler was there.
Tyler Boyer.
Yes, he was there with his beautiful wife and his kids. He came up to me afterwards and he was like, hey, we're starting this, or we have this organization and we're starting in Arizona. Would love for you to be a part of it. And
notice this time she says that Tyler was actually there. But in the other video, she said a family friend. The family friend is Tyler. Let's continue here.
Starting in Arizona, would love for you to be a part of it. And everything he's
Now, see, the thing is, this is, I'm not sure exactly which year this is, but this is way after, I mean, I was starting my organization in Spain after my ex-husband crashed and burned, destroyed his career as a banker.
said sounded super exciting, but I was getting ready to move to New York. And so I said, thank you for all the information, but I am moving to Manhattan. And I was like, stay in touch. And we didn't really stay in touch all that much. And then I went to Israel. And what year was that?
2018. So I happened to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting sick and tired of all of this crap. I get some guy who comes up here and to pick up some pizza over here, he just sticks his phone in my face. Doesn't speak any English. And you're just being racist. No, I lived abroad. I lived in other countries. I speak fluent French and Spanish, and I learned it on my own. If I went to a country, I was going to learn the damn language. Not looking for free rides, and I'm sick and tired of people coming here looking for the damn free rides. And then you get people like these little bitches. As I say, I was starting my organization. I wanted to start a company, and I had death threats because of it. Now, this is free capitalism and everything. Well, then, Megyn McCain, you're going to say, oh, no, well, it's just capitalism. If someday I come, take your kids, take your house, tell you to run, because I'm going to kill you if not. I mean, these are the Hunter games. Bushes played that. I mean, this whole stuff, all of these people are involved. And they're all just, it's a revolving door of propagandists. Because Sabby Sabs and Megyn McCain, I mean, they're all just propaganda platforms. More and more and more bullshit.
In Israel, too.
And he just happened to be there. So another similarity here with Erika and Caroline Bassett, both of them did move to New York. I mean, not an uncommon thing. People do move to New York. But they just happen to be in the same place as their future husband. I mean, it's not like she went to Dean and DeLuca and Charlie Kirk just happened to be there getting a coffee. Dean and DeLuca's a coffee shop, for those who don't know. She went to Israel. She went to a whole other country. And he just happened to be there. No. I think you knew he was going to be there. I think she knew he was going to be there. And guys, this thing happens where, I don't know if, all guys are aware of this, but there are women that will do this. They will plot in such a way so that they can put themselves in the same vicinity with you. And you'll just think that you just bumped into each other. But a lot of times these things are planned. It's already coordinated. Another good one.
There are women who will do that. That is of epidemic proportions. Who knows if this Sabby did the same thing with her husband? I mean, everybody's doing it. I mean, my Lord, this is one of the reasons why I've been ostracized by all of the expat wives clubs, whether it be the IMF Family Association, World Bank Family Network, Federation of American Women's Clubs, or overseas or not. I mean, I keep on explaining to them, little ladies, you are crap shooting all of your assets, your property, because it's going to be seized, you're going to be thrown out of these countries, and your children, most of whom have dual nationalities, are stateless, rightsless people. I have explained this to them ad nauseum. In letters, personally, to their husbands as well. Nobody wants to give. Oh, I'm good, I'm protected. Well, see, the protection racket that they've built has implicated them all under RICO.
To mention is Hillary Clinton too. Hillary Clinton and the Bill Clinton thing, that was all coordinated too. She wanted to attach herself to someone that she thought was going to go somewhere politically. So people like Hillary Clinton, Erika Kirk, Carolyn Bassett, these are the type of women that they're looking for status. They're looking to connect themselves to a man that they think is going to go somewhere. And along with that, they also want to go somewhere. You see how this works? You see how you connect?
But see, this is explained in the book, Tripping the Prom Queen. And this is the dark secret of the women that, they want their meal ticket husbands. And they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have their meal ticket husbands, 6-figure salary career, or be podcasters, be in the limelight, go shopping, and, either send their kids to the best schools or then go around and say that they're great because they're homeschooling because the education system in the country has gone to shit. Well, get up off your ass and do something about the educational system in this country instead of saying, oh, no, I'm just going to have my kids homeschooled. Like Candace, she wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning or something, and so she can do it all and homeschool her kids. And she's this modern woman who's having it all and stuff. Well, she and her husband are risking it all.
Connect that to what Tyler Boyer said. He thought that Erika would be president someday. They know that it's easier if you're already connected to a guy who has that or is going in that direction. It's a lot easier for you to
see. Their objective is all to be president someday, to be an elected official, to be rich and famous. It's not to lead a good life. It's not to contribute to their communities. It's not for the betterment of humankind or anything. It's all so that they can become rich and famous, and they criticize Trump, but that's what they all want to be.
To obtain that. Pay attention to the women, guys. Pay attention to the girls.
Yeah.
All right, listen to this part.
And then came back home and got a message from Tyler, from who I had met at the Trump rally, and he was saying, hey, you should come to Turning Point's office. We're having an office opening. We'd like to discuss with you about everything that we're doing with the faith component side of things. We met at the office.
I decided to ask Erika in person during our sit down how she met Tyler. And of course, as we know, Erika knew Tyler for years before her and Charlie began dating. Both she and Tyler have been honest about that fact, particularly citing Trump's 2015 presidential rally as an event where the two of them attended together, right? Standing behind Donald Trump in Arizona at his 2015 July rally, where her mother, Lori Fransky, is in the background. So the three of them have known each other since at least July 2015 publicly. So I asked Erika how she met him.
And Tyler.
Unfortunately, Candace has not used the Charlie Kirk assassination and the whole thing she's used it as to launch a personal vendetta against Erika Kirk and, just bring down an adversary. The white privileged woman. And I'm sure there's as much racism of Candace going after Erika as how shall I say it? The like Gary Melton going after Candace. That's definitely, I thought Gary Melton was a Fed, part of the CIA or something, but no, I think it's his wife. Hi, how you doing?
From who I had met at the Trump rally, and he was saying
her answer was that she met him at the 2015 rally because they were both standing behind Trump. And I immediately corrected her. I said, that's not possible because Tyler discussed knowing you already. At the funeral rally, he told the audience that Erika had called him asking how she could get involved and that he then made a decision to put her behind Donald Trump.
So do you see what I'm saying? She already knew him. She already had a plan. She already knew what she was doing. How do you just end up right behind Donald Trump at a Trump rally? Unless someone put you there, or unless you were working with Trump's campaign or something. So do you see how this all works? And then we call it honeypot. But do you see how it all works? These women put themselves in a situation so that they can get close to this proximity of power or power. Proximity is easier. And status. And they put themselves in that situation so that they can latch onto that and make a path for themselves. Mm-hmm.
Here is Tyler making that statement in his own words at Charlie Kirk's memorial.
At his wedding, I told the story of talking Charlie into moving to Arizona. He was an adamant Chicago boy. I needed to break that. Selfishly, I wanted him to love Arizona because I had recently convinced him to move Turning Point USA to Arizona. It was a hard sell at first, and that was until I hosted the first Trump rally in Trump rally history right here in Arizona in 2015. I got a call from Miss Erika Kirk, Miss Arizona 2012. I just want to help, she said. So naturally, I put her right behind the president at that first rally.
He was hosting the rally. He put her right behind it. He said he got a call from her. So if you called him, how did you just happen to meet him at a place you called him to go to? She put herself in position to be there.
Well, she said I wanted to help, and he put her behind the president. So I'm sitting with her, and she doesn't remember how she met him, but she said that she would look back through old messages because, like me, she never deletes any of her messages. And she thought maybe, specifically, she said that they had a connection in politics via a senator or a congressman.
So listen, guys, come on now. So that's the game. That's the game. Whenever you see yourself, especially if it's someone who's average Joe Schmo, right? Like, so yeah, Megyn Markle, for example, was an actress, but come on. Were all of you watching the show Suits before Megyn and Harry got married? Okay, so it's not like she was like an A-list actress, but she was an actress, right? And you look at JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bassett. She was working for Calvin Klein, which is, that's big deal. Calvin Klein was a top designer at that point in time. It's a big deal. But, I mean, John F. Kennedy Jr. was dating celebrities, Daryl Hannah, and he also went on a date, I guess, with Brooke Shields at some point, too. Like, he just happened to bump into you. Some of you may be watching this and you're probably saying to yourself, I sincerely hope that my girlfriend or my wife didn't do this to me. I don't know. But what's interesting to note is that it's really easy to believe the other story because that sounds good. And that sounds like a good love story. We just happened to bump it. We were in Israel. We bumped into each other there. I went for an interview and he asked me to be his girlfriend. No, she was trying to become the girlfriend and then the wife. That's what she was there to do. So we have this video now. I just want to show you the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. Erika was at this event, so I don't think she knew they were recording. Actually, Erika, some of us have watched his videos, and he was without a doubt against war with Iran. She is talking about how Charlie would have felt about the Iran war. Listen to this.
I put the kids to bed and I thought to myself, you guys are in our backyard. And I was really frustrated that you guys weren't able to have the counter tabling for the Enough American floor, and that really pissed me off. Especially because we have some really good people that could be on campus to counter program that. Yeah, no, it's your question. My husband isn't here to say whether or not we should be at war with Iran.
No, he's not here to say whether or not we should be at war with Iran. However, the videos are still very much public where he said, no, we should not go to war with Iran. So why is Erika Kirk pretending as if she does not know his answer to that?
I would love for him to be here right now and tell us if we should or should not. I would love it. I miss his voice more than anything in this world.
He already told you. He already said it publicly not to go to war with Iran. He spoke to Donald Trump privately and said, don't go to war with Iran. So why is she pretending like this didn't happen?
And, it's frustrating when you have people speaking for him. I have sentiment for that. But thank the good Lord that we have a bunch of his videos that we can look back on. And it's like chapters like this, I have to commend you. This is amazing. All of you guys sitting here together having debate, discourse, dialogue, that's what Turning Point USA is about. And that's what I wanted to continue. So when you ask what's our stance on the war, what's our stance on that, I actually would prefer that we have these types of discussions where our stance is on freedom of speech. And I want you guys to all continue this.
Yeah, so that video has been making the rounds. JB said if he already said it, why does his wife not know his position? It's public. It's public information. You can go onto Twitter or Google right now and see those videos where he said, no, we should not go to war with Iran. But she doesn't mention that, right? So I told you that we were going to have some fun because we got to have some fun with all of this. I mean, essentially, this is really what you got. This is really what you got, right, Drewski? Drewski did it so well. One part of this I'm going to have to mute because that California Girl song plays. But until then, get on your feet.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
Gotta mute this part because of the music. This is comedian Drewski. He's pretending to be Erika. I'm sorry, this shit is funny.
Ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pup cup.
organic?
Yes, everything organic.
Three, 7. Oh, are you good? 4, 3, 2.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up for Drewski. We gotta drop the beat, guys. Drop the beat. Dance with me. Dance with me. Drop the beat. In the street. There's one, I gotta show you. There's one more. I told you I was gonna party over here. So anyway, guys, I told you I wanted to end on a funny note, but comedian Drewski did that so well. And I think he points out the fact that, hey, she's loving all of this, all the tension and everything. And that's what she inspired, that's what she aspired to do. Like, she wanted the attention. Remember, she was auditioning for Amazing Race and all those different things. And I say the same thing about Carolyn Bassett as well. They put themselves in proximity to someone with status and power because they wanted it to. So for all the guys out there watching, be careful about these girls that you just happen to bump into.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, man.
Definitely, yeah. Be careful. But this is, the whole revival of the debutante parties in the 80s, all of these beauty pageants. Those are for the white trash. The debutante parties are for the respectable ladies, and the all these beauty queens for white trash. None of it. How is this liberating women? Now, let's see Megyn McCain coming back from maternity leave. I mean, this little girl, I tell you, with the McCains, this goes back to 2007. I asked for, solicited assistance from the McCain camp. Now, if her father had helped me and had been ignoring me all of these years, he would have been in the White House. The whole thing would have been different. Instead, Megyn McCain has wanted to become one of these little honeypots. Her mom was a gold-digging whore who was the second wife of John McCain, and she couldn't come to Washington because nobody could, stand the woman. She was a young jailbait sugar baby, and she had to stay in Arizona because she wasn't accepted in Washington. Now Megyn McCain is in Washington, but Megyn McCain is going to end up having to explain herself in court for all the propaganda bullshit and her children. She's facing, seizure of her assets and her children taken from her by CPS and handed over to whoever.
The time that women need. It's weird to come back out of maternity leave. It always feels like it's like being shot back out of a cannon. I have been very hesitant to share anything on social media about any of my children in the last recent years for all the reasons you already know. I think the world's a really chaotic place, and my husband and I are pretty controversial. So we sort of stopped wanting.
No, I'm so sick of the world's a chaotic place, and my husband and I are controversial. So we need to keep our privacy, and we need our security. And well, if you weren't covering up for all the pedophiles, rapists, and con artists that control Washington, people wouldn't be so pissed off. I've had it by, that whole thing of, we have to protect ourselves because so many people are just getting angry and we're just these innocent victims of the violence of these people.
Involve our kids, and I haven't posted any pictures of him since he was born, but I thought I could bend the rules just a little bit, Ashley, and share with you guys a picture of my little baby, Ransom Tanner McCain Dominich. He is so yummy and lovely and mellow and has really beautiful energy that he's brought.
We have tens of thousands of babies who have been trafficked because of people like Cindy and Megyn McCain. And don't go after Cindy and Megyn McCain. You got to go after the Kennedys. Cindy McCain is no different than Ethel Kennedy with her human rights, the McCain Human Rights Institute, Leadership Institute, whatever it's called. All of them. They're fraudulent. They're just here to produce yet more jobs for a bunch of Nepo babies like Megyn McCain.
Brought into the house. My daughters are obsessed with him. He's just the sweetest little baby. He was born enormous. He was almost 10 pounds when he was born, which I can't believe. And he's almost 14 pounds now. That's a little bit ago. That's his 2 month. He's almost 3 months.
Maybe
And
if she hadn't been so
it's
fat.
amazing. I love having babies. The biggest regret of my life is not starting sooner. I wish I had 10. I love having children. I don't know if I could physically do it. Sometimes I see Ballerina Farm and I'm like, I don't know how.
Well, when she has her children taken from her, and she's facing life in prison, I don't think she's going to think all of this thing is so funny. When it's me, when it's all of the other people happening to, oh, we're just like victimless crimes of all of this stuff. No, your mom and your dad have been, at the lead for the past 20 years. Well, 30, 40.
I don't know how that woman's doing it, but I love babies. I love children. But I also want to be sensitive to women who can't have children or trying to have children and it's not going well. For every child I've had a miscarriage.
And what about the millions of women who have had taken their children taken from them because they want to protect them from the rapists and the pedophiles and the abusers in this world? What about them? What about them, Megyn? Huh?
Miscarriage. I have 3 children and I've had 3 miscarriages. And you always think about what if that child had lived? What if I hadn't gone through that? So I want to be very sensitive to the people who are in their fertility journey, who are maybe unsure to have kids. And I also want to give a shout out to the women who don't want kids. You have a place with me here at this show. You have a place in the Republican Party, despite what some people have been.
And what about the women who want to be the trad wives, who love their children, who don't see their children just as a commodity, like your mom saw you, like Erika Kirk's mother saw her, huh? And utilize their just everybody's a pawn, everybody's another way to get in the spotlight and cash in. I mean, there are women out there who really do care about their children, who really do care about their communities and their families. Not like you. No?
Preaching a lot about since I've been on maternity leave, that the only way women can have value is having babies. That's not the case at all. Obviously, everything is very individual and private, and everyone has to choose.
Well, I don't know what value Megyn McCain or her mother have brought to the world. I mean, Megyn McCain, Cindy McCain, she's going to have to, can't exactly say she was a success as a wife, mother, CEO, or UN ambassador. I mean, and her daughter, she just brought up another dumb blonde who's contributing to the cacophony.
The path they take. I am so blessed and happy that I've been able to physically have children and have it at late in life. I'm 40. I'm 41 when I had him. But I love him and I love our children, and I have a amazing support group of friends, a company that supports me and gave me maternity leave. I have a husband who is supportive. I have family. Shout out to my sister-in-law Florence and my brother-in-law Tony, who came over and helped me with the kids yesterday because my husband is actually out of the country. So it takes a village.
And
truly.
where's your husband?
And there's a lot to talk about in the news, but I want to bring in Miranda.
See, her husband is also one of these social media influencers. It'd be interesting to know where is her husband and what's he involved in. Because see, the McCains, this is all, Washington, it's all about, power and money, either for the Democrats or the Republicans. And I mean, obviously, this is a split. She's, with the Eagle Forum, basically the anti-feminists. And I want to see them all in court, all of them.
Who's been holding down the fort so well while I've been gone. Miranda, thank you so much. I want to say a big thank you also to Kara, Ashley, and Miranda, who have really kept the show going, held everything down, been so professional and wonderful, and checking in on me. You've done a really spectacular job, Miranda. I know it wasn't easy, and I just want to really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for keeping this going. And I have missed you all. I know we've been texting and gossiping the whole time, but I missed you all. I would like to share a quick story. The night I gave birth, the next morning was when Maduro was perp walked in his sweatpants, and I texted Miranda, I can't tell if I'm on drugs, like if if the medication has made me.
I was so mad at you for having a baby because I knew. I was like, obviously I love Ransom, and my girls are just obsessed with him too. Every day they're like, pictures, I want to see the
We're
baby.
FaceTiming with them.
FaceTiming with him last night. But like, I was so mad because I was like, of course, an insane world event happens like the day before we have to come back, and I got to do this shit show by myself. Like, not this show shit, but you know what I mean? Like, of course, because the only person I want to talk to about it in the entire world is you, and you're like at home being a dairy cow. Like,
I was in the hospital when it was happening, and I turned on the news in the hospital. I was still recovering, and I literally, the nurse came in, and she was really young. She looked like she was like 20. And I was like, do you see the president of Venezuela being arrested right now on that television
seven different outfits? Like,
and she goes, who's the president of Venezuela? And I was like, I need you to find someone. I know.
I need an old
is this
priest
happening?
and a
And she
young
like
priest.
was like, I have no idea. And I was like, okay, she was very sweet, but like, I don't know.
And Megyn McCain think it's really funny that the nurses in our country are these dumb bimbos who don't even know who the president of Venezuela is. What the frick's going on?
Shout out to all the freaking overnight nurses at the hospital who take care of women who've just had babies. Angels among us, so helpful. You're so vulnerable. My body is just shot to hell. I mean, that is one thing about having children is like I'm still nursing and breast pumping, and I've got my breast pump in here with me in the studio, and that you forget that is journeys. That's journeys
though?
and.
Children
Yeah,
it just my daughter, who's 5,
it just angers me so much to hear Megyn McCain. You know, the McCains, they've known about my case. I've been silenced. I mean, Mike Helen and the McCains, for the past 20 years, y'all have been shutting me up, and you give a voice to this dumb bimbo idiot on The View. You know, Megyn McCain, she's had a stellar career. Look what's going on in Tucson, in Arizona with Andy Biggs and all of the child trafficking. I mean, how many children have disappeared there? And she's talking about, oh, look at me with my child. You know, these little Nepo babies who, you know, all they care about is themselves, me, myself, and I am so tired of it. I am so tired of it. And I have absolutely no sympathy for Megyn McCain the day that she loses it all. Has her kids taken, her home taken, she and her husband are thrown in prison, along with her mom, if she's still alive, and along with all of her siblings, cashing in as well. I mean, you know, these political families who have been using the election process and American political institutions so they can amuse themselves really have gone too far. They've just gone too far.
Last child to breastfeed still asks me if I'm capable of doing that, which I am not.
I mean, you could be like.
I guess I could try, but like,
yes.
I mean, she's never even seen me breastfeed a child because she was the last child to be breastfed, and she asked me if I could do it. So I'm like, They don't forget. They don't forget.
It's not
something
fun.
that they know. No, it's not. It's not pleasant.
I really wish women would stop making this seem like it's really primal and you're like sweaty
All
and
these women that are like, it's so
pajamas
joyful and it's euphoric.
it's wonderful.
like,
I just look like I've been
3
through
in the
an
morning.
apocalyptic experience the whole time.
My God. I mean, she's really pissing me off. I mean, one of the things that I remember, this was back in the 70s, and doctors in the United States were recognizing that powdered milk was not good for babies, that human breast milk was much better, and they were promoting women to, return, because the food producers in the 50s and 60s have been telling American women, no, get them on the formula, get them on the formula. Now let's go back to the breast. So now we have all of this formula milk. Let's go and give it away in Africa. Then the milk doesn't come in. And then these people who can't even afford food for the families, they got to go out and buy this expensive powdered milk for the babies. I was like, these people should be ashamed of themselves. Even as a child, I saw the amorality in that. And these little snot-nosed brats. I mean, I am always like, God, stop with the bashing of breastfeeding. It is the easiest thing in the world. You don't have to sterilize anything. You don't have to clean anything. People would say to me, oh, well, maybe your baby was hungry. I'm like, I just breastfed my baby in front of you, and you didn't even realize it. You don't whip out your boobs to do it, and do it discreetly. So, I mean, all of these trad wives, and these are the conservative trad wives, and they're bashing the breastfeeding. I mean, I want to take this woman and take her boobs and shove them down her throat.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm so it's wonderful. I'm so happy, and he's amazing, and he's been so easy. Like he's like the easiest baby. Like he's so sweet and so easy and so funny. And like his biggest issue is that he has like a little bit of eczema. So
is that what
like
surprised you?
things
Is
pretty
it
good.
him or is it you? Because I wonder if there's like just a
you know what you're doing,
like fewer neuroses, because you're just like, nah,
yeah,
it'll work itself out.
Well, the good thing you asked that, because why don't we make that the viewer question today at the end? If you guys, any of you have children or multiple children, does it get easier for you? Do you think just because you know what you're doing, or do you think it's a personality vibe based thing with your child? So feel free to hold up your digital hand. Haven't done that in a little while. Raise your digital hand if you want to ask us a question. Honestly, I'm in a very baby mood today. I got a little emotional leaving him this morning. So if any of you want to talk about anything baby related, please raise your digital hand. And this is not turning into a baby show. We're gonna get to Iran.
Oh my God,
okay?
they've been begging us to do mom content for years. Is this going to be
the thing
that breaks us?
I feel like if you and I did mom content, it would be like bad mom content, like bad moms. Because
God,
I'm not
a shitty mom. Should I turn the camera on to the other half?
No,
of this
we're
room?
just not. I'm not here to. I'm not here to pretend that everything looks like it's a beautiful Instagram. It's challenging and whatever. But I do know. Oh, SC. Okay, all right. Our first.
See, the bitch. She's not even a good mom. And excuse me, with the political shit show, she's just following in the footsteps of her mom and her dad. I mean, this little girl, she's sitting there. Who does she think she is? Everybody should follow her lead. Oh, little lady, they can follow your lead into prison. I have been warning and warning and warning all of these little Nepo babies and socialites and socialite wannabes and social media influencers that they better be damn scared of the 20-year prison sentence of Ghislaine Maxwell, because that is the jurisprudence I'm going to be using on all of this shit. And that's what I'm going to be looking for. So she can keep on and keep on. Oh, and CZ Cusp. I mean, she's going to bring in CZ Cusp. I mean, that woman, or SE Cup, whatever. I mean, she's a real piece of work. I can't wait to see all of these ladies in court, all of them.
First guest is here really quick, but I just want to remind you, you raise your digital hand please, if you have anything, hello, really quick.
Hello, Miss Lady.
Raise your digital hand. Really quick, let's do an intro for, even though she needs no introduction, S.E. Cupp is a CNN commentator, host of Off the Cup podcast at iHeartRadio. I really enjoy your podcast, and she's a nationally syndicated columnist and battleground host. You can find her at S.E. Cupp on Twitter, Substack, and Instagram, and Off the Cup on TikTok. I've got to tell you, our TikTok sucks. Like, it is like nobody cares about our TikTok, and your TikTok is so good. I love your TikTok. How did you master it? And you do it in interesting places.
And it's funny.
And I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you. And thanks for having me. I don't know that I'm mastering it, but I really overthought social media when I first went on it, right? Like I thought I'll come up with these really cool concepts that everyone will love immediately. They didn't care at all. Nobody watched. And then I just started being like a normal person. Like I kind of took our group chat, Megyn.
Yes.
You know, where we're basically
so
like
messy.
This,
like, yes,
this,
so messy. Yes.
And I was just like, I'm just gonna do that. So I just started being like, did you see this? And I don't know why, because it's very simple. It's not complicated, but people just loved it. So we're gonna do some more with it. I can't tell you right now,
it.
But we're gonna do more kind of stuff with it. So if you love, did you see this videos? Stay tuned. But I don't know. It took a while, and like what works on Instagram doesn't work on TikTok necessarily. And I'm fucking old, and I don't I don't speak this language fluently. I'm a second adopter, so I'm just trying to figure it out. Like y'all, you know, everyone is just trying to keep up.
Well, yours is I think I like it because sometimes you're like in bed and you're like, what about this? And then you just talk like about
or just
whatever
make a face.
story is happening. And you're like, excuse me. And you're like, this is psychotic. Like you'll be walking, you'll be like, this is psycho. This is psycho. And I was like, I feel this energy. I feel this energy. This is psycho. This is what's going on. But it's really very good. And I love the little tease that you're going to do. You're going to do. And I hope there is good because I want more of it.
Okay.
And if TikTok could ever throw us a bone here or there, our TikTok sucks. It's like dying on the vine. It's awful. I feel bad. TikTok fucking
You just gotta keep trying stuff. You'll figure something out. You'll find something that works. Just keep trying stuff.
The one and only time we got a good TikTok was when we were talking shit about me meeting J-Lo and me basically saying I didn't like her. That was like the one time the internet
that worked.
I mean, we got a lot of views. Yeah. That was a good one. That was a good day. Yeah.
I was like, she was not my favorite guest. Still not. I don't care. J-Lo's gonna run me over with her car at some point.
Ashley, post this one. Maybe we'll get another hit off of this.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, post this one.
Essie, we have to talk about Iran. I have been one of the best parts about being on maternity leave was not having to talk about Iran, even though I do feel like I texted both of you at like 3 a.m, legitimately, this is not an exaggeration, legitimately petrified that we were going to a nuclear war. I don't know. I think it was my hormones.
You were very afraid. Yeah.
I was so scared. I was
afraid.
I was like, should I leave DC? Like, should I be scared? And you were like, you calm me down. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I want to play a clip of what has not helped. And just really quick for people that maybe have been paying attention, 3,500 Marines have arrived in Iran. Iranians are on their 30th consecutive day of internet blackout. And Trump has delayed further strikes while the war continues to drive up oil prices and fuel fear of inflation. As we know, there are more troops being sent and rumors that there are going to be, quote, boots on the ground coming soon. Let me tell you what didn't help me when I was thinking we were going to nuclear war. Number 3, Lindsey Graham, please.
We're going to win. Israel and the United States, you just wait to see what comes in the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks meaning what?
We're going to blow the hell out of these people. This regime is in a death row now. It is going to be on its knees. It's going to fall. And when it falls, we're going to have peace like no other time. We're going to have prosperity unlike anyone could ever imagine. Peace brings prosperity. You can't do it by talking. The Democrats criticize this operation. They didn't do a damn thing. These men and women in the military should make us all proud.
Okay. I think we should unpack this slowly because there's definitely some humor in it, but saying we're going to blow them to hell. And then he went on to put a hat on that said, make Cuba great again. He said we were going to invade Cuba, which again, like, what are we talking about? I think he's the worst spokesperson for any of this. You and I tend to be more hawkish. How are you feeling about all this? I still am scared.
Well, let me tell you something about Lindsey Graham. I'm a hawk. I'm one of those neocon
The thing is what qualifications do any of these bimbos have to be political analysts? I mean, like a bunch of idiots. What? They got a college diploma. Oh, well, so do I. And I can barely keep a roof over my head. And no, I've been offered up as a sacrificial lamb to pay for the sins of all of these idiots and their mothers. The same thing here with Erika, Kirk, and all the other little Nepo babies out there. I mean, the thing is everybody I know in Spain, everybody, all of the expats in Spain I know, all of the expats in France, in South America, we're talking 300 million people. And I have been warning everybody for years and years and years what they're facing. They keep on saying, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Go ahead and jump off the bridge so we won't have to face reality. I've told them I'm not jumping off any freaking bridge. I'll throw you off a bridge before I jump off. I mean, everybody's been picking a fight. Everybody's been picking a fight, and then you reap what you sow. No. Anyway, it is what it is. Goddamn little bitches. And S.E. Cup, I mean, she is a real one piece of work. I mean, all of them are. All of them are. All of them should be ashamed.